President and CEO of PDC Energy, the largest Denver-based oil and natural gas operator in Colorado. Welcome on the Business Brief.
Thank you, Ryan.
Good to have you. Bart, PDC is spending $25 million on 3 letters, ESG. That's environmental, social, governance. Measures that seek to address how you protect the planet, how you engage with communities, the diversity of your governing board and workforce, and a number of other important economic, social, and environmental factors that are also material to your business. Why should companies take ESG seriously?
First and foremost, it's the right thing to do in today's world. You've touched on ESG from a high-level corporate level. Let me specifically talk about it from an oil and gas sector. First, the E, the environment. Critically important today. Companies must show continued improvement in environmental investments in protecting the environment. Got to show dramatic improvements in greenhouse gas emissions with particular focus on methane emissions. Very important. The application of new technologies, making your operations cleaner and safer. As you noted, Ryan, PDC's got $25 million allocated to improving the environment in 2021. On the social side, which is the S, first and foremost is the treatment of the PDC employees. Safety of our field staff is one of our highest strategic priorities for the company. But we also really pride ourselves on the relationships we have with the communities, the towns, Weld County, state of Colorado, the state of Texas. And last is governance that you touched on. And this is pretty simple, just best corporate practices. A board that is aligned with your strategy and aligned with the values of the company, a board that is focused and supports ESG and in today's world understands ESG, and a board with appropriate backgrounds and diversity.
So let's go even further with that, Bart. ESG is a big shift for an oil and gas operator, and it seems to be a growing movement across the industry. These factors are increasingly weighing heavily in investor decisions, as evidenced by your sustainability report available online, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that most people may not read it. So let me ask you, are you seeing a fundamental shift in the way the oil and gas industry operates? And what does it mean to you to be an ESG focused operator? And what does that mean to the average person?
Great question. We are absolutely seeing huge changes, and the majority of these changes are for the better. There's been some really intense positive steps the last 5 years, and the goal at PDC is for us to show continual improvement year after year. It's important. PDC, a lot of the things when you go look at our sustainability reports, we've been doing a lot of these for years and years, and it's us just communicating that better to the market. But there's a lot of new initiatives that are based on, in all honesty, new regulations, but also new technologies that are available. There's also dramatic improvements in disclosure and transparencies, but not just by oil and gas companies, but all companies. This really helps when the general public wants to compare companies. Let me give some specifics around PDC. Again, the E, the environment, as we've discussed, a $25 million commitment this year to environmental initiatives, pursuing no flare policy for the company by 2030. And I'm really proud of the fact we have 0 flaring in the state of Colorado. We've also had dramatic reductions in greenhouse gas emissions in Colorado and in Texas. On the social side, Ryan, we've got 30 hours a year, our field operating team, each employee is required to attend around the safety, dozens of safety topics that we have as a company. Safety, really important, is tied all the way to the top to our corporate performance metrics that tie back to compensation. In our communities, in our charitable giving, very important, $1 million a year to various organizations across Denver, Weld County, and Texas. On the governance side, A lot of changes there. I won't go through all of those, but really important. Recently, we made some strong refreshments at the board level, providing additional diversity. I think it's really important to note, though, this is not just PDC. As I talk to all of the oil and gas operators, whether in Colorado or across the country, you see dramatic improvements in all the areas that I'm talking about. So your question around what does an ESG focused company look like? It starts at the top, at the board. The board has to support it and understand it. They've got to push on the management team to support it and implement it. And then you turn to the employees and they need to understand it and be the executors of the plan. ESG components need to make sense for the company. All industries don't have the same measurements. So you've got to pick the measurements that are important. Those are pretty consistent across the oil and gas sector. You need to show continued progress in the key areas, and you need to have a commitment to disclosure and transparency. And this is through your quarterly releases, your company presentations, and hopefully a sustainability report. And with good reporting, it gives you, the general public, and the market the ability to hold companies accountable.
I think that's so important, accountability and transparency, and really making ESG really part of your DNA. And it's not just the oil and gas industry. We're seeing just about every industry, not just here in the US, but across the world, adopting practices in the ESG framework. So very excited to hear what you all are doing. Let's take a step back, if you will, Bart, a little broader level look. Colorado's oil and natural gas industry has lost 9,000 jobs since March of last year due to the pandemic and to wars between Russia and Saudi Arabia with respect to pricing. Throw on top of that, the oil prices went below zero last spring and now have recovered to somewhere in the 60s. Last I saw, even close to 70. The industry seems to be adjusting to many challenges and moving parts, including public sentiment. What's your assessment of the direction, challenges, opportunities for the industry overall?
To your comments, no question, this has been an unbelievably challenging couple of years for not just PDC, but everybody in the business. For those who have survived, I think we are actually in a pretty good position today, some of it around the pricing improvements that you noted. At PDC, our business plan is very, very, very solid. I do believe you will see additional consolidation in the industry as the smaller operators pursue more scale. But post-pandemic, Ryan, this is really important. Affordable, abundant energy is going to be a key in bringing this world back to life. So that makes, in my opinion, our outlook very, very good. Looking forward, I think you can expect this industry to maintain capital discipline. So the capital budgets that we've announced, I believe you're going to see operators stick to those. I believe you will see modest growth, which is different from the history of the industry for most companies. And I think you are seeing the industry get more and more conservative around their balance sheet management. Our challenge is the easy and obvious one. We're talking about ongoing costs of improving our business, cleaner, and additional regulations, in all honesty, that can be challenging at times. We need to continue to educate the public around the benefits of our industry and how it contributes to the quality of life in this country. We've always had price volatility. Everybody likes to take that and put it out there as a risk. Absolutely, we've got risk mitigation plans through hedging around that, but that's part of our business. I've been through probably 7 or 8 cycles in my career. We're pretty good at managing through that, so it's something that we view as a very manageable part of our risk profile. On the opportunities, we're continuing to be profitable. We're very proud of that. We think that's going to be better, and we get to pass that on to our investors. And with that improved profitability, we can allocate the dollars to being cleaner and safer for our communities and our employees.
Sounds like a win-win-win. So Bart, let's talk about educating the public here. Let's educate the public a little bit on you, Bart, as a leader in the energy industry, an industry that employs tens of thousands all across Colorado, contributing nearly $20 billion to the state's economies. Your decisions and actions matter. They matter to your organization. They matter to your employees and their families. They matter to the communities, as you mentioned, you all work in each and every day. And they matter to millions of people who will never know you, and perhaps you'll never know, but who rely on that affordable, reliable energy for their homes, their cars, their businesses, and more. Bart, I want you to take a minute and tell us about the values that define you as a leader at PDC, a leader in oil and natural gas, a leader in Colorado and our country.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Ryan. First and foremost, my team is phenomenal, and I couldn't be sitting here today if it weren't for the efforts of everybody at PDC. I pride myself on financial and operational credibility. PDC is an organization that is built on one core component, and that is teamwork. We work together in an incredibly collaborative way. We have respect for each other as co-workers, as human beings. Again, we have a tremendous collaborative spirit when we come to work every day. The pandemic, in all honesty, has put a wedge in that, having to look at a computer day in, day out. But we're on our way back to work, coming back to the office as we transition into the summer. So the old PDC will be coming back, and I'm really, really excited about that. And in the end of this, when I'm done with this gig, hopefully skiing somewhere, I hope the world looks at me and the employees have respect for me. The investors that have put their dollars my way over the years have respect for me, and really important that the communities where we've operated and given so much back to, that they have respect for me.
Yeah, Bart, the word teamwork keeps coming up, and you said it, and everything you continue to say kind of hits that point. I'm reminded of the old African proverb that goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Bart Brookman with PDC Energy, thanks for joining us.
Ryan, thank you for the time.